Welcome to Rambling Read Podcast, an insightful space dedicated to exploring the depths of our emotions, some psychology behind them, but most importantly, embracing our authentic self. So if you want to better understand yourself, those around you, or simply find a connection in this complex world without the woo-woo and the kumbaya, right here is the place to be. A little cussing, little dark humor sprinkled in, but at the end, I believe that you'll find the support and encouragement that you've been looking for to honor your true self and unlock the power to live a more fulfilling life. Have you ever considered by constantly saying yes to others, you could be saying no to your own happiness? Yeah, people pleasing. It might seem harmless or even virtuous to prioritize others' happiness, but what happens when that comes at the expense of your own well-being? Today's episode will be exploring what people pleasing really is, why it happens, and the harm it can cause. We'll end with some practical tips to break free and start living more authentically. So let me start by saying that this topic is pretty important to me. It hits really close to home for the simple fact that I was raised by a people pleaser. So in turn, I also became a people pleaser because my mom is my idol, duh. So, you want to be like your idol, right? While that was great in some areas, it actually crippled me in others. And the more that I researched into the psychology behind the reasons of why and how people, become that way, it actually ended up kind of breaking my heart because there's a lot of trauma rooted in those who people please. The odds that you know or you yourself are a people pleaser is about 50-50. According to a poll by YouGov, the consequences of the people pleasing behavior affect women at disproportionately higher rate. So I heard this fact and I've been seeing videos about it and how it relates to like just your overall health, right? And the effects that it can have on somebody when they're in long-term people pleaser in all the areas of their life. And the effects of that are really negative. Now, before we get into it, you should know by now, I want to define what exactly we're talking about so we can make sure we're on the same page. According to Psych Central, people pleasing is a pattern of behaviors you may engage in to get others to like you, avoid rejection, criticism, or embarrassment, linked to traits such as depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Some common behaviors among people pleasers are perfectionism, conflict avoidant, self-sacrificing, and porous boundaries, and fawning. Maybe you've never heard of what fawning is, because I know I didn't. I was like, I know what a fawn is, like a baby deer, but I didn't get how can you be acting like a baby deer? Like, what do they even do? So, ironically enough, that's the point. The baby just like, oh, don't eat me. The actual term fawning comes from a licensed psychotherapist, Pete Walker. Fawning is being overly concerned with the needs and wants of others instead of your own, to the point where your response to a threat is to become more appealing to the threat. But also, being excessively dependable, helpful, and friendly can be problematic. Yeah, I said dependable. You gotta let people fall sometimes. Yeah. Just, can't come swoop everybody. And by that, I mean placate down love, especially the ladies. Like, men, y'all need a break too. That's the point. At the end of the day, we all need a break. What I know in my own personal life is the men, they'll tell you like, no, like it's a no. But women, they'll see like what I can take off to make this work. Now, don't confuse people pleasing with being a martyr, right? A martyr. A martyr will make you fully aware that they are sacrificing themselves for you and for everyone else, but not for themselves. They are fully devoted to being a miserable victim. because I don't play like with, they're true victims of things, right? But this is more of, you want to play the role of a victim, whether the thing is hard for you to do or not. They're playing a role because they'll complain about their situation but never accept any help, because you'll do it wrong, they'll have to redo it, it's going to take more time. And that we know what people pleasing is, let's understand a major root cause. While it will vary for everyone, for most people it stems from early childhood foundational relationships. For instance, being raised in a household with parents or family members whose love was conditional, right? You're having to earn love and affection, or the caretaker may not be available emotionally, or they're inconsistently available at all. Let me just put a reminder, not here trying to blame anyone for life and you having to figure it out as you go. All I want to do is to shine a light on root causes. Once you know the cause of something, you're able to address it and you're able to fix it. Okay, that's it. Here's something and it's triggering you, that's probably something you should look into. Why is that triggering for you? There's something there if it's a trigger. We're all just trying to figure things out, right? Now, people pleasing is also linked to emotional dependency, which is when a person with unmet psychological needs tries to satisfy them through close interpersonal relationships. This person may actually fear and avoid being alone and will engage in possibly reckless behavior, like becoming physically intimate with people they hardly know and then expecting an exclusive relationship with this stranger. A people pleaser in these types of scenarios could very well just abandon their own wishes and other obligations to solely fulfill their partner's desires in a hopeful attempt to fill this emotional void. Sadly, the person may be totally unaware that they're actually abandoning themselves because it's normal for them. This is what they're used to. It's just a fact. Something that's normal is usually more comfortable than the unknown. This is why people stay in situations that aren't great for them. Some people hate change. They rather stick to what they know than to, leave and possibly get into something, a better situation or a more positive. Here's a story time for us. On the subject of people pleasing. I've been in therapy for almost 10 years, on and off, right? I've seen different therapists. I've stopped for a long period of time. I've gone back. One key feature of a good therapist is, to coin my homegirl's phrase, they're going to take us back to bring us forward, okay? Because you didn't just wake up and this is who you are. Everything that we do, we've been conditioned to do somehow, some way. In my mind, a good therapist is going to have you take them back there. It's almost like so they can be with you. And while you're replaying how, you've seen things or whatever, how things went, they're this neutral third party to just offer a different point of view, who's also licensed, certified. They have these credentials of more of the psychological and emotional background of the situation. When I first started going to therapy, it was really to help me. It honestly was to help me build my confidence and just make sense of life. Because it was very much at a time when it was just like, what the fuck is going on in my life? How did I get here? That's really what I wanted to know. And I needed to have a neutral party. We could talk about specific events or times and try to piece together how we got here so we can do better moving forward. One of my earlier therapists, she had me think of, I needed to, the very first time I felt like I had to work for love. So I'm thinking the scenario I land on is, it wasn't like I guess it was a specific time. I was very young, probably like when it started, I was like pre-K, kindergarten, that I can recall, right? Maybe even elementary school or something. So picture this, the late 1900s. Young military brat living with her mom because her parents are divorced, only child. And I guess it was a thing of you always want what you don't have, right? And maybe you don't even know why you want it. But for me, young kid, you're going to daycare, you're seeing, especially in a military base, it's men centric. It's always men. So you're always thinking dad, right? As a kid, going to the commissary, coming to pick the kids up from the daycare on base and stuff. My situation is my mom. It's my mom picking me up, doing all the things, being a great single mom, handling her business. Okay. Now, with that being said, I guess I was like, you know, I love my mom. I love that she's doing this for me. But where my dad at? Because they got a dad, their dad there, their dad coming to get them. Where my dad? And what I gotta do for him to come pick me up from daycare? Or what I gotta do for him to come and take me to the movies or take me to the park? A child's mind, right? And here my mom is busting her ass to do all the things that I assume normally happen in a two-parent household where you would share the load, right? And I'm just like, very unappreciative of me. I see this now. I'm telling you at the time. Now, you go into the school, oh, it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, make this cute little craft, and I'm making it, and I'm putting to my dad on it. And I remember like talking to him on the phone, writing letters, because I'm sending the little thing I made is for him. We're going to send it to him, all that type of thing. And this goes on for years and years and years. And I'm like, when can we visit? When can I come visit you? Like, I want to show you this cool thing I got for Christmas. Let's go ride a bike, all the kid stuff. So I'm constantly, I'm trying to set up a date with my dad at this point. And he would always agree, like, yeah, this summer I'm going to see you. This winter I'm going to see you. Oh, yeah, I'll be down there. Oh, yeah, you can come up here. We're going to do this. We're going to go to the moon. Okay. Selling me the big dreams. And almost every time he didn't show. Like 11 out of 10 times he not coming. But every time he give me a date or he say, forward planning, oh, this one I'm coming, counting down the days. I'm reminding him, mind you, we're not texting people. It's the late 1900s. We don't even have those capabilities. Where I'm like sending letters, a card, like, oh, can't wait to see you. Calling on the phone, leaving a message, whatever. Reminding him, don't forget this time. The bags are packed, waiting at the door. You hear me? Like, I got my whatever, I got my little stuffed animal. I got my favorite shoes, like right here. So you don't even gotta stop. Just I'm gonna jump in there. Like, I'm so excited to go. Every time he let me down, I internalized it in ways that I couldn't even fathom at the time. But I truly believe if I did a little bit better at school, if I listened to my mom more, if I was just, a better kid, he'd show up. He would keep his word and he would do what he said. Because in my child brain, trying to rationalize these actions and why you're saying one thing and doing something else, in my mind, if my mom is a template of a good parent, she's a template that I know, right? I already said it's my idol, so she's perfect. Pause that. I already know we don't idolize people I told you, I'm telling you from my child mind. Now, press play. I'm assuming that adults are perfect with no problems. They don't lie because lying is bad. And my dad is a good person and he loves me. So obviously, it's me. By digging into that vault, I was able to pinpoint where the switch flipped. Obviously, I was wrong, right? Adults are just people. Nobody's perfect. They could have a lot of problems. They certainly can, and they do lie. And then also, my mom is a human at the end of the day. She's not the superhero, who I'm always seeing saving the day, doing all the things. She, oh, okay. She's doing the best that she can, right? With, you can't see it, but I have a picture right here. She was doing the best that she could with the car she was dealt. And sharing that with my therapist taught me as a child, it was never me, but there were obviously extenuating circumstances going on that I'm just not going to understand, especially at a younger age. Pause the story. Let's get back to our regular scheduled program. So now, like with most things in life, there is a cost associated with people pleasing. Psychology Today listed 10 mental and physical costs of being a people pleaser. They are a fear of rejection, frustration, anger, addictions, headache, stomach problems, and or blood pressure, weak boundaries, poor decision making, and low self-worth. There's actually been quite a lot of research done on the connection between emotional suppression and impaired immune function. Clinically Elp in Switzerland actually was designed to strictly focus on mental and emotional well-being. They actually suggest that chronic emotional suppression can weaken your immune system, making a person more susceptible to infections and diseases because the body's resources are constantly diverted to managing stress and leaving less capacity to fight off illnesses. But there's some good news. The National Library of Medicine actually has an article that states laughter has been reported to have a surprisingly potent modulating effect on the immune system to the point where it can upregulate the expression of genes involved in cell immune response. That the potentiating effect of laughter in the immune system can last as long as 12 hours. Now, for those who know me and you getting to know me, one thing about it, I'm a laugh. Eventually, I'm going to laugh. I don't know, maybe that's my comfort, laughing. Yeah, I'll get into that. While I was editing this, I decided this was just way too long of an episode to share at one time. Just me talking for 60 and 70 minutes. No, thank you. Even my own self, I'm not trying to hear that of anybody. Okay. So with that in mind and knowing that I wanted to get the information out to you guys, I put a lot into it. I was very vulnerable and it helped me just rewatching it back, like, yeah. So with that being said, we rambling again. I'm just trying to be transparent, okay? Because ultimately I'm just trying to hold space, share my story, share my perspective, and help those who need it. So I did decide that in the end, for this people pleasing topic, it was just so important to me to get it out, to make it more digestible, easy to listen to, and even easier to refer back to, if that's something you want to do. This is the end of part 1. There will be a part 2. All right. Thanks for listening.
Body, flip, got it, top, party, till I ever ask you to take me, you go shopping in Paris or go